Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, Get Crafty with Sally. My name is Sally Poole, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Albany, Oregon. Welcome. Glad to have you here today. Great. There go the dogs. So today, I'll be showing you how I made this beautiful card with the Magnolia Mood set. And this bundle is not in a catalog. It is an online exclusive. And the way the online exclusives work is if you like it, you better get it. If they run out, they might be getting more back in stock, but we never know. Sometimes when they run out, that's it. They're not going to have it anymore. So anytime you see something as an online exclusive and you really like it, you should grab it. So this is what you're going to need to make the card. And as always, I do have a PDF with all the measurements and supplies. There is a link down below the video in the description box. You can go get all that, or you can take a screenshot of this if you like. So let me mention that this is the first video, I think, that I've made where I didn't totally design the card that I'm doing. This card I found on Pinterest, and I just absolutely thought it was stunning. The one that I saw was made by Karen at Creative Stamping Designs. I can't pronounce your last name, Karen. I'm sorry, I don't even want to try. Anyway, a shout out to Karen for this. I did change a few things on it. So in the card making business, we call this a case, casing a card. There's several different meanings for case. The one that I have always known and gone by is copy and share everything. So I always feel honored when people copy a card design that I've made. So Karen, I want you to know that I think this is a beautiful card and that you did a fantastic job. So let's get started with this card. What we're going to do first is, let me grab my chair, color the magnolia flower. And I am going to start with, I'm going to use Stampin' Blends for most of it. I'm going to start with light Flirty Flamingo. Hopefully you'll be able to see most of this. And on the flower pieces, I'm just going to quickly color over any of the shadowed areas that Stampin' Up! Has given us. So this is probably like watching paint dry for a lot of you. If you don't want to watch this part, you can fast forward a couple minutes in the video. And you can see I'm not being very careful and particular. I'm just quickly going over these shadowed areas. Hopefully you can see it on the camera. So a couple of months ago, noticed 2 houses down, somebody new had moved in, and when I drove by the house one day, on my way home, the window shades were open, or a window shade was open, and the people that used to live there never had the window shades open. So it kind of caught my eye. And what did I see in the window but a big shot? And I thought, oh boy, a crafter. And I am an introvert, total introvert, but okay, now I'm going to dark bubble bath. I got home, parked my car, and I'm not going to color clear up to the top of all of these flowers. I'm going to leave part of it white. Anyway, I got home, parked my car, grabbed some catalogs, ran out the door down the sidewalk, and I thought, whoever lives there is probably gonna think I'm a crazy person. So I knocked on the door, and to my surprise, a very nice lady opened it, and I told her that I was her neighbor 2 doors down, and that I saw her big shot in the window, and that I was a crafter and a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I think I missed this. And so she was very nice and invited me in, and she was in the middle of crafting on her kitchen island at the time, which is where I do all my crafting. So we visited for a while, and anyway, she ended up a few weeks later. I got a message from her, and she invited me out to a women's luncheon from her church at the Sizzler here in Albany. And I usually am not big on doing things like that. So if you want, you can go back over the shadowed areas with your light flirty flamingo. And since I'm chatting, I will. So anyway, I accepted her invitation. The day came, we went to Sizzler, met a bunch of really nice people, and had a great lunch, a great visit, great fellowship, a fun time, and I really enjoyed myself. So the point of my whole story is, other than shout out to my new neighbor Tony, who is just awesome and adorable. Invite somebody that you don't know to church or out to one of your church gatherings or lunches or what have you. I really appreciated it. And tomorrow is Sunday, and I will be going to church with Tony and her husband, so I am looking forward to that as well. Okay, so there is most of the floral part. You probably can't see that very well on the camera where I've shaded all that. So now I'm going to grab my light granny apple green, and I'm going to do the inside of this magnolia flower. I'm just going to put the green on the shaded areas. And then I'm going to take my dark lemon lolly, and I'm going to do the white parts inside the flower. I'm not sure what that little part is called. You can color these petals the whole way up if you want with your second color. I do have examples I'll show you in a minute. The next thing I'm going to do, I am taking a Old Olive Stampin' Write marker. You can do this with your Stampin' Blend too. And I am just going to make a bunch of lines where these little dark lines are on the leaves. And I'm not actually going to spend the time trying to go over the lines that Stampin' Up has given us. I'm just going to draw a bunch of lines on the petals or the leaves. And I am going to try to leave this. There's a little white line right in the middle of the leaf. I'm going to try not to write on it. So we'll quickly work our way around these leaves. So Easter is coming up. That would be an especially great time to invite somebody to your church. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to grab my light Old Olive Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to color in these leaves, and I'm going to try to leave that little white line in the middle and not color over the top of it. I've got a dog that rang the bells to go outside a few minutes ago, and I can just feel him staring at the back of my head. So as soon as I do this, maybe I'll jump up and let him out if he's still standing up and wanting to go out. If he is laying down, I'll just ignore him. Okay, so you get the idea of this. You could also skip this part of putting the light Old Olive on and just leave the leaves with those little lines that I had just put on there. So there is our colored flower. I've already colored another one and die cut it with the wonderful dies from this set. So I have die cut it with this large die here and got this. Cuts it out really nicely. I've also cut a piece of, oh, I forgot to mention, this is on Very Vanilla cardstock, the one that I'm coloring right now. I also cut a piece out of Very Vanilla with this pretty die, and it's pretty intricate. It's got a bunch of little holes in it. So we've got those. Let's grab our little paper pieces here. And for this distressed gold piece, if you've watched my videos before, you know that I've cut the size out, which this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I always take a rectangle stitch die and cut the center of it out so I can use this for another project. This is one of my favorite papers ever, so yes, I am hoarding it. And I actually have ordered a lot, so I do have a lot. This paper is from the Flight and Airy Designer Series paper pack that was Celebration with the pretty birds on it. So I just thought it looked really pretty on this card. I am going to take some green glue and go around the edge of this. Hopefully I can keep myself from going right up to the edge, because then it seems to ooze out onto the gold. And I'm going to have to stand up so I can get it straight. I appreciate all of you that can craft in one position, but gosh, it seems like I have to sit down to color, glue, and tape, and I have to stand up to get everything straight. So now I'm going to take my tape runner. You could glue this too if you wanted. And we're going to glue this piece to our card base. Grab my card base. This is also very vanilla. Let me fold it and give it another good crease with my bone folder. And we'll lay this on the card base and try to get it centered. Okay, so now I have a piece of vellum that I have cut with this largest, it's kind of a wavy circle die from the Thoughtful Expression set. This is the one with the hummingbird. I have not used any of those stamps yet. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on the back of it. And you can either put this little center bump straight up in the center, or you can put two at the top. I kind of like it this way. So I'm going to try to get all these edges even. Try to get it straight. So hopefully I've got about the same distance here and here. Not a big deal if you don't. So the next thing I'm going to do, grabbing my chair again, I'm going to glue this piece down. And I'm just going to put glue on these larger areas. They do have little slicey cuts in them, but it's not going to matter if the glue peeks through any of that, because it's going to get covered up a lot. Standing up again. And I'm going to lay this on here. Try to get it kind of centered. Whatever centered is, it's not a very even piece. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of ribbon. This is about I think I cut it at about 14 inches. And this is that, I'm pretty sure it's retired. It just says gold or gold. I'm pretty sure that it is very vanilla with a gold edge, and it is 3/8 inches wide. You could also use the golden vanilla satin edged ribbon. I was going to grab one of those and I didn't. And then also in the sheer ribbon combo pack, there is pink that you could use. Of course, I didn't find this until I was pretty much done with stuff. So, but I think this one looks really pretty on here. So I am going to lay it across the front of my card, kind of where I think I want it to go. I'm just going to take my tape runner and put a little tape on this die cut piece. You could put glue on here if you wanted, since you're not really going to see this part of the ribbon. When you do glue ribbon down, a lot of times it kind of seeps through and it makes a funky color. So just be aware of that if you do glue ribbon and it's in a place where you're going to see it. So I'm going to flip this over, add a little more tape, and I'm sure none of these that I have done have turned out the same. I think I'm going to try to, and I don't know if this is going to work, I'm going to try to pull this up and scoot it down a little bit further. Make this loop a little bit shorter. So let's flip it over again, and then we can put some more tape over here. Lay that down. So it kind of looks like a Z. You could space them farther apart than I did if you wanted. Every one of these I've done has turned out different. I'm going to take my good scissors and cut the ends of these off. And now I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this piece that I colored. And for those of you wondering, yes, the dog did lay down by the door and go to sleep. Thank goodness. Because I'm sure if I would have let him out, he would have wandered right back in, because they were just outside right before I started doing this video. So I'll pull all the covers off my dimensionals, and I did put quite a few dimensionals on here. Okay, let's see if I can get this where I want it while I'm sitting down. So I'm going to lay that on the center of the card. Give that a little push. Now I'm going to put some of my festive pearls on here, and I am going to use the gold ones. Put one up here at the top, and I'm going to put one, I think I'll put it over here this time, and then one over here. And I'm also going to grab my Wink of Stella and color on these flowers. I know you won't be able to see it, but for those of you that do end up making this card or are familiar with Wink of Stella, you will know how pretty it really is. And I didn't put a sentiment on the front of this. I might put something inside. I just thought it was so pretty and I didn't want to hide any of it with a sentiment. So there is the card. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see any of the sparkly. I also did, and this will be in the PDF, I also did a sample sheet of colors, and I didn't start out intending to do a sample sheet. Otherwise, these would have been lined up a little bit better. But you can see some of the colors that I used and the different ways that I colored them. For example, this one and this one are both light flirty flamingo and then dark bubble bath. This is like the one we just did, but on this one I colored in the entire flower, so you can see the difference when you leave part of that white, which I really like. This one I used light moody mauve and dark bubble bath, and it kind of ran a little bit. So here are a couple on basic white paper. This one is dark bubble bath on the shadowed areas, and then dark lemon lolly for the main part of the petals. So this, like I said, will be in the PDF. And here is the original card, the card we just made. Here is one that is, I believe this is the same colors, but the entire flower is colored in. Here is one, same setup as that one, but instead of the gold, I've used silver foil and silver edged ribbon. Here's another one like this one, but the flowers, I left part of it white. I just think that is so pretty. And then this one with the gold, this is like the dark bubble bath and dark lemon lolly, but I believe I used light lemon lolly on this one. And of course, this one is on very vanilla instead of basic white. So that is the card for today. I love it. Thanks again, Karen at Creative Stamping Designs. It's a beautiful layout, a beautiful card. So I hope you'll give this a try. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today. As I always say, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button, shared my video with your friends and family, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.